Hi, everybody. Matt Bernier, joined by DRF's national handicapper, Mike Watchmaker, taking a look at this weekend's Weekend Warrior for Saturday, January the 19th. 3 races all across the country. We'll kick things off down in New Orleans. Mike, you're going to take a look at the 12th race. It's a Kentucky Derby prep, a points race on the road to the Kentucky Derby. It's the Grade 3 Lecomte and Overflow field of 3-year-olds, mile and 70 yards. Where are you going?
Well, Matt, this is just a heck of a betting race. You could make a case for 7 or 8 horses in this race, and you're going to get value. It doesn't matter what direction you go in. I went with Tight 10 in here. He's one of 2 horses coming out of the Breeders' Cup Juvenile, which has already proven to be a productive race. 5th place finisher Gunmetal Gray came back and won the Sham Stakes. 7th place finisher Mind Control came back and won the Jerome with an 88 buyer speed figure. So it's already been a productive race. And the other horse coming out of the Breeders' Cup Juvenile that's in the Lecomte is Mr. Money. He finished 4th, whereas Tight 10 finished a distant 9th in that race. But I really think Tight 10's race is a complete toss for a couple of reasons. Number one, he's steady to then hit the rail going into the first turn. And, the Juvenile was on Friday, and I thought Breeders' Cup Friday at Churchill Downs, the rail was absolutely not the place to be on the main track. And Tight 10 was on the rail all the way until late on the far turn. So for me, the race is a total toss-out. 2 and 3 starts back, Tight 10 ran well. He ran well, finishing second in the Iroquois in his first attempt around 2 turns. He ran well, finishing a game second in the Saratoga Special up at Saratoga in the second career start. He's got early speed. There's not a tremendous amount of early speed for all the horses entered in this race. There's really not a tremendous amount of early speed. I think he's going to be forwardly placed, and I think that real bad running line last time out is going to make him a bigger price than he probably deserves to be in this spot.
Couple of races in Florida to take a look at. The first one at Tampa Bay Downs, the 9th race, 3-year-old fillies, 7/8 of a mile, the Gasparilla. This is another interesting field, a pretty full field, all things considered. Who'd you land on?
I like Belle Chow in here. I thought she was a little bit disappointing. Went 3rd in the Hut Stakes at Gulfstream last time out, and she was beaten about 47 miles in the Alcibiades 2 starts back. But I still can't get around the race that she ran in the Spinaway Stakes 3 starts back. That was up at Saratoga. I know she was 125 to 1 in that race. I mean, just an absurd price. But, the pace in that race completely disintegrated in the late stages. And Belle Chow was close to the pace of that race and wound up finishing a close 4th. And I thought under the circumstances, it was a big, big effort on her part. I think she might be cycling back to that kind of form, and I think that kind of form is good enough to win this kind of race.
And over at Gulfstream Park, the main event, race number 11, it's the Sunshine Millions Classic, a mile and an 1/8 for those Florida breds. Interesting race here. Where'd you go?
Well, Jay's Way won this race last year, and if you just take a cursory look at the past performances, you would say he's nowhere near the same kind of form he was when he won this race last year. And I'm saying I don't think that's necessarily the case. 2 starts back, he came off an 8-month absence, and he ran at Gulfstream Park West, which is a notoriously deep track. And the prep for this race showed early speed and then understandably tired. He needed the race. Last time out, he was put in an extremely salty race on the turf. This horse can't stand up on turf. He wants no part of turf. His form is darkened. His recent form is darkened. I think it's still a very positive sign that he retains his early speed. He's now primed for his best 3rd start off a layoff, returning to the surface on which he's had his biggest success. I think Jay's Way might be 3rd or 4th choice in this race, and I think he's got an excellent chance to win this race back-to-back.
DRF's national handicapper, Mike Watchmaker, with this weekend's Weekend Warrior. You can find the entire write-up over on DRF.com. Great stuff as always, Mike. Good luck this weekend. We'll talk next week.
Thanks a lot, Matt.